Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. Me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching the Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Backyard Banter. My name is Jonathan Shields, and I'm joined by James Keck and Tanner Sterrett. How you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, feeling great.
Another electric weekend coming up, especially for all the Gator fans out there. We're going to get right into college football, and why don't we start with Florida and Tennessee?
Yeah.
Probably it's kind of a slower slate, probably the biggest game of the weekend. Billy Napier has to win this game. He has to. Like, we talked about it last week with Dion being able to bring 65 new people in, and he's already competitive with a team that won 2 games, and besides in the 90s, Colorado has not been relevant, right? You're at the University of Florida, you cannot win 6 games back-to-back years. It cannot happen. You need this game. If Florida loses this game the rest of the year, they're not going to be on anyone's radar. It's just is what it is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think this is a huge game for both teams, though.
Yeah.
Like, in order for Tennessee to remain relevant in the playoff conversation, right? Because as long as you don't lose and you win the SEC, you're in the playoff conversation. So this is a huge game. I've never been to a Florida game. I'm sure the Swamp's going to be crazy, but this is a huge game for both teams. So you're going to see the best shot for both, right? The line right now is Tennessee -6. I think it's a great line. I don't see Tennessee dropping this game. I don't. I think they are the real deal. I think Tennessee's a team that can really compete against the best. And I don't think Florida's gotten in them. But the Swamp could have some effect on that.
Swamp's going to be wrong.
So, I don't know. Tanner, what you think?
This is a really hard game for me to like really get a gauge on. Partially because it is at Florida, and I do think the Swamp will be rocking. But I don't really know what we have out of Tennessee. I don't think Virginia is very good at all. And like Florida still has so many question marks coming out of that Utah game, and I don't know. It's hard to gauge. I would probably just go with Tennessee. They have the better quarterback, better team.
Exactly.
But it'll be interesting. Is Florida a lot better than they were in week 1? Because if they are,
I don't know.
If they are, then maybe they have a chance. But I'm just not so sure. I'm leaning Tennessee though. I like the Vols. I just think they're the better team, and Florida would have to have major improvements from week 1 to win this game.
It also goes to the fact that it is in Florida, right? Like, if this game's at Neyland, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? Give me Tennessee, right? But again, it's that SEC vibes. It's the SEC culture. Like, you could talk about low-tier atmospheres. I've never been to Vandy, but I'm going to guess it's probably not a great atmosphere for college football, right? But even, like, you got Mizzou. I'm sure that's a good time, right? So it's just SEC culture and, like, what they do. So I got to get down to a Florida game because I'm sure the Swamp's going to be crazy. But that's the reason why I think this line's 6.
Yeah, for sure. If
it's at Tennessee, this line's over 10.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Yeah.
So,
A neutral field would be right at 10.
Right.
But Florida, quick stat for you guys. Florida is number 3 in defense so far through 2 weeks. So the Florida defense line's the real deal. Tennessee's been able to run the ball really effectively the first 2 weeks. Joe Milton has had trouble with accuracy his whole career. That's why he's a 6-year senior, not in the NFL right now, right? So if Florida can get some pressure to him, affect some of his throws, they can really get to him. Florida has to run the ball. They didn't run the ball against Utah. Against McNeese State, you can run for every yard you want. It doesn't matter. You have to be able to run the ball, set up the play action for Graham Mertz to get it downfield to his playmakers. I have been to probably over 60 Florida games just from going. I've left there with my ears ringing, not being able to hear it. It is like one of the loudest stadiums in college football. I'm going to show you how loud it is. We're going to put a clip right here. It's just, like you guys said, it's different. You guys don't understand, like, being from Big Ten, it is different. There'll be people out there tailgating at 7 a.m. just ready to go. Like, it just means more. Like, in the South, this is a huge game. Like, it's a helmet game. And trust me, being from the South, like, I hate Tennessee almost as much as any team. And if you lose, they haven't won the Swamp since 2003. Like, Florida fans take pride in that. You know? So, against, like, I just still don't think Florida's there. I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a great game. But I just haven't seen the improvement. And so it pains me to pick Tennessee, but I don't think Florida's going to win. I don't think they have it. They have all the talent. They have the dudes to win. And I don't know. we'll see. Brandon Spikes, Gator legend linebacker on the 06 and 08 teams, is there coaching him up, saying how big of a deal it is. It is a big deal, but we'll see. I just think Tennessee has a little bit too much, and Florida's mistakes won't be all cleared up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the biggest game of the week. I mean, it's not my favorite slate. Like, your ranked teams aren't playing the best.
Next week, though.
Exactly. So, like, this is kind of, but there's still some good matchups. Like, I mean, I'm looking at one game in particular. This Kansas State-Mizzou game.
Yeah, awesome.
First of all, I'm a little confused about it because we haven't seen much of Mizzou, right? They've played 2 games, right? So it's trying to gauge how good they actually are. They haven't been great in years past, right? They, in my opinion, the last 5 years, they kind of made a step forward in terms of maybe putting some effort into their college football team. But Kansas State team that's ranked top 15.
15th, yeah.
Okay, so 15th in the country. I understand they're going to Mizzou, and again, SEC culture, they're only favored by 3.5.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on there. I think Kansas State is a good team.
Very good.
But again, coming out of a conference that's not very strong right now this year, I don't know. That's a big game for me. I see we're gonna have to pick it in the
We'll see. Before you get into that, Missouri, their first 2 years in the conference was in the SEC championship, right? So this isn't a program like historically the past 5 years they've been down, but traditionally, I mean, they're pretty solid. But they have the Burton kid on the outside, the 5-star that they got, Luther Burton. He can really play. I just, Kansas State won the Big 12 last year for a reason, man. Like, they're good. And yes, the SEC atmosphere, trust me, Missouri's atmosphere and stadium is nothing like the typical Alabama, LSU, A&M, Florida. It's like, it's there, don't get me wrong, but it's not,
it's not there.
Yeah, you're not going to Florida, you're not going to LSU. Like, it's a little different. But no, definitely, that's a great non-conference matchup. Again, the Big 12, we love seeing these out-of-conference games. The Pac-12 did it. The Big 12 went out and played a whole bunch of teams. But my favorite, Tanner, you want to add something on that?
I mean, I was just going to say Kansas State. I like them a lot. They're the better team.
Yeah,
100%.
And I don't think that atmosphere is going to be too crazy for them. I mean, if they can beat TCU in the Big 12 title game, I mean, I know that's last year, but then they can win on the road.
I tell you what, when I was down in Tennessee, like this past weekend or 2 weekends ago or whatever, my goal now and dream, just seeing the people that show up from college football, is to go to a true SEC night game. Like, all I can think of is that game last year, Tennessee versus Bama. That's all I can think about.
Yeah.
When they stole the uprights and the goalposts.
It's awesome.
The Orange Crush is on in Knoxville after one of the craziest games we have ever experienced. And those are some very important uprights that are coming down and may end up in the Tennessee River tonight.
I can't even imagine, fathom being at a game like that. So,
I mean,
it just looks incredible.
Awesome. I mean, it was my childhood.
I know,
right?
Yeah, you're lucky.
Like, I'm telling you, it is just different. Like, the Florida-Tennessee game is such a big game because you're in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of nowhere. It is hot as hell all the time. Like this is all you have.
Yeah.
Right. So it means a lot to the people down there. So I hope Florida shows up.
I think the biggest game of the week in college football, I think that Tennessee-Florida game's big, but I think this one's bigger. I think LSU at Mississippi State.
I was literally about to go to that game.
It's such a because we're gonna see what LSU is.
Yeah.
They're either competitors or they're not after this week.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State, if they win this game,
I talked about this in our SEC preview. I said week 3, LSU's not going to be as good, and they go to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Not Will Rogers. Who's the dude? It is Will Rogers, right?
Yeah.
It went Nick Fitzgerald, then Will Rogers. Will Rogers is a senior. Everyone on Mississippi State's team that plays is a senior.
Yeah.
They got dudes everywhere. And LSU's coming in, losing to Florida State, really struggled against Grambling. Grambling's offense did whatever they wanted to, really. And I don't know, it concerns me when you have a guy that's played in all 4 years, a 3-year starter, coming in at home, the cowbells, man, they're going to be going.
That's what I was just thinking, man.
It's going to be rocking.
It's going to be rocking. I actually have Mississippi State in this game.
Moneyline or the spread?
I think they win straight
up. It's a 9.5 spread.
Yeah, it's a big.
I think that is a ridiculous.
Is that on our pick'em?
Yeah, it is. Second game.
And I wanted to pick Mississippi State too.
I think Mississippi State wins that game, man. I love Mississippi State.
After our 9-1 record last week, I don't want to mess it up. See?
So what are you picking?
Should we start our picking?
Are there any other games?
Yeah, Penn State, Illinois. That's the.
Yeah, I wanted to
another big one. James, what do you got?
There's not much to say. I think this Penn State team is legit. This Illinois team is not as good as I'm not. I can be honest. I don't think they're as good as I expected them to be.
They weren't as. They're not as good as they were last year.
They lost a lot of pieces, right? When you have guys like when Illinois loses guys in the first couple rounds in the draft, that's a big deal, right? Because that doesn't happen very often. And again, this team's a team, and I said it in the preview, loaded with maturity and like guys like seniors and all that, but they just don't look as good. And I'm not saying they can't maybe shock the world. This game being at Illinois helps in the sense of it's not at Penn State, right? It's not because we're at Illinois is going to play better, but it won't allow maybe Penn State to play as well because they're not at home, right? Because there's not a huge advantage in Champaign, right? But there's a huge advantage at Penn State, right? You know what I mean? So, again, this is I think it's 11 a.m. kickoff, so it's not. I think it's on Fox.
It's a Fox,
it's a Fox game. Yeah. I don't know what the spread is. I'm sure
it's 14.5.
And I think Penn State covers, but I don't know. You never know.
We're gonna go straight into our college football picks. 9-1 last weekend. We keep telling you.
9-1.
We're not wrong. The one doesn't count. We're not wrong. If we're wrong, you get your money back.
So
we're not wrong. 15-5 on the year.
Yeah, 15-5.
Top 3%. Come on, guys.
Yeah, 15-5. We're in the top 3% worldwide.
Just like
worldwide.
Think about how many units we're making these people.
Actual.
So our one miss last week was Bama too.
Yeah. And I said Texas was going to win.
All right.
I didn't say that.
Into week 3 though, Kansas State at Missouri, fellas. We're gonna start with John.
Kansas State. I think it's going to be relatively. I think it might be close in the first half. I think they pull away late. 3.5 for them? We don't bet, but I'm saying if you are a bettor out there, I think the 3.5 is a good number for Kansas State.
Give me the Wildcats.
I got K-State as well.
Give me the Wildcats.
Yep. Second game, this I think where it gets a little dicey here. LSU at Mississippi State. I'm going to go ahead and put my vote towards Mississippi State.
So now I'm just going to pick LSU just to make it interesting. Okay. Realistically, this LSU team has so much talent.
They do.
Right? And they haven't put it together yet.
Yeah.
You've got to think that with all this talent, good coaching staff, they're going to put it together. Feed me the Tigers.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I said in the preseason that LSU was going to finish unranked, right? And people act like Florida State just dominated that game. It was close for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Right? Jaden Daniels doesn't turn over the ball. He just doesn't. He protects it. They still have dudes out there on the outside. Their defense still has a lot of pieces there. And I thought I was going to be the only one picking that. I'm not entirely confident in picking Mississippi State to win. You know what I mean? But I'm going to stick by LSU. I'd said it in our SEC preview. I said that this week 3 game was going to be huge. So, yeah, I'm sticking with my guns. Give me Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Pick Mississippi State. I thought you picked LSU.
We're riding with the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Minnesota at North Carolina.
Minnesota sucks.
Quick thing here that I think could make this game interesting. I'm still picking.
Do they still row the boat? Or
I hope so. PJ Fleck is
but
awesome.
Minnesota just loves to run the ball and run the clock. So I think keeping the ball in Drake May's hands is kind of a big deal. And North Carolina just went to a couple overtimes with App State.
Where's this game?
It is at North Carolina.
That's because they're looking ahead to freaking Minnesota.
Yeah.
But North Carolina's D-line was so improved from last year, especially in that South Carolina game. So you're right with the new rules and the clock being able to run and control the ball. But at some point they're going to have to throw and make a pass. And they don't have enough. And Drake May we talked about it. It looks different out there. It'll make too many plays, North Carolina.
Yeah. I like Carolina.
Maybe the
as well.
Heels. Yep.
Virginia Tech at Rutgers.
I don't know how to pick this game.
The only reason I know anything about Virginia Tech is because they just played Purdue.
And because
I had to watch.
If they just beat Purdue, they must suck. Give me Rutgers. Or lost to Purdue and it was close.
I think Virginia Tech.
I don't want to poop on Tanner again, so I'm going to be nice. I think Rutgers is the better team here, and it's at Rutgers. Virginia Tech was not impressive. They lost, but I don't think they didn't look impressive against Purdue at all. Like, I think Purdue should have won that game.
That's a fun game.
I like
by a lot. So I like Rutgers.
I do think Virginia Tech's rocking with a new quarterback this week, who actually came in and played pretty well late. But I'm going to go Rutgers as well.
I like you think Virginia Tech's going to win.
I'm going to pick Rutgers.
I mean, if it was at Virginia Tech, then maybe.
And the Sandstorm.
Yeah, I mean, the Sandstorm is
Tennessee at Florida.
I mean, we talked about it in the Open. Florida has plenty enough talent to beat Tennessee. especially at home. They have enough dudes. Their D-line's elite. They have a few corners. Secondary is young but talented. But Josh Heupel, really, if you make a mistake, you will pay for it. I am worried about Joe Milton's accuracy. If Florida can get consistent pressure on him, then it will be competitive. But I picked Tennessee in the open, so I'm going to stick to it. And it pains me to say that, man.
I didn't say it in the open, like the opener when we talked about this game. I think this is a game Joe Milton shows that he is an elite quarterback.
I hope so. 'Cause I hate it.
What doesn't he have, truthfully, besides the accuracy part? I mean, he's got a flipping cannon, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he throws that. I don't know if there's another quarterback in terms of arm strength in college football like him, right?
Yeah.
He's athletic, right? Like, he can move for a guy who's been in college football for quite some time.
8 years, man.
I love this. I think this is a legacy game for him, and I think it's a big game for Tennessee. So give me the Vols.
Vols by like 2 touchdowns. Rocky Top.
Let me just say real quick, Graham Mertz has not been the problem for Florida so far. He's actually been pretty good. So who knows? Hopefully he can take a step.
So we got.
This is another one. I don't like any of our. I don't like any of our.
This is a tough week,
I don't
man.
like any of our picks.
Pitt at West Virginia, man. This is
It's a backyard brawl.
The backyard brawl.
Yeah.
Not an easy one here. I don't know much about either team. I know West Virginia lost their
balls
OC.
these 2 teams.
I mean,
You guys know Fresno State and not the backyard brawl.
No, we know South
Alabama, both of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock with Pitt. West Virginia lost their OC. That's about my only reasoning. Pitt's probably got the better roster too, if I had to guess. West Virginia was not very good last year.
Yeah.
So
Notre Dame plays Pitt down the road. So just for it to be a bigger game for Notre Dame, I hope Pitt wins this game.
Yeah, my pick doesn't matter. Will Greer went to West Virginia. He was really cool at Florida for like 6 games.
Yeah.
Before he got popped for taking too much Advil or whatever.
Such a bogus thing.
Yeah, I know.
Advil, like
That wasn't Advil. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I'll roll with Pitt also.
Syracuse at Purdue.
How does Purdue find themselves
I will
into
be
a top
at this
10
game.
game?
I will be at this game.
Feed me Cuse.
I will say this: Cuse is without their best offensive player, and I think 2 starting offensive linemen. So
Doesn't matter.
you're
Hold
taking
on.
Syracuse.
What time is this game?
It is a night game.
Night game at
Ooh.
Mackey.
No, it's not Mackey.
It might as well be.
What is the name? What is the name?
Ross Aid Stadium.
That's terrible.
Just
Mackey,
because
but-
of the name of the stadium, feed me Syracuse. And doesn't Syracuse play in a dome?
Yeah.
That's
Carrier
so
dome,
sick.
right?
Yeah, that's
This
so
was
sick.
an electric game last year.
I'm truthfully not picking Syracuse because I got into you last week. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
So
I could get into 10 every week.
Pause.
Does phase me.
pause. Wow. Okay, give me Syracuse and I hope we can move on as fast as possible.
I'm picking Purdue.
Just because you're picking Purdue, I'll pick Syracuse.
Oh god. Oh god. That's gonna be our one miss this week.
Yeah.
I think we missed quite a few times.
TCU at Houston.
TCU. I think they bounced back from a pretty lackluster.
I'm gonna go TCU as well. Johnny. Colorado State at Colorado.
Dion, top 10 team, Colorado by 90.
You said last pod they were the best team in the country.
Yeah, or isn't the best team in the country in the top 10?
I mean, you do, but like
Best team in the
number one,
country.
right?
No, the best.
Colorado
They're-
State
they're-
had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and they're talking mad
I
stuff.
don't care. They're gonna lose by 40.
Give me the Buffalo still.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Fresno State at Arizona State. This is big for Fresno. They got some votes to be ranked.
God, don't give me that Fresno State.
It's just because they played for-
Arizona State. I refuse. What did they get? 2 votes?
Who? Fresno?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.
Yeah. Arizona State. I'm not doing this.
They just got.
Arizona State is not favored.
They just
though.
got. They are not. They just got
Yeah.
beat by Oklahoma State pretty badly.
Yeah, but they have Jalen Rashada who took all. What's his name? The quarterback for Arizona State. Anyway, it was supposed to be at Florida. Took the bag and now at Arizona State.
I think Purdue is way better than Arizona State. And if Fresno can beat Purdue, then
I don't think Purdue's better than anyone.
You're saying,
I don't know, Arizona
Johnny's
State-
saying on record they're the worst team in college football.
Arizona State
Maybe-
has not been.
Maybe
not been a quality
Purdue.
team in a
No,
while.
they have.
Besides,
They have not.
besides Virginia Tech and UMass, I think
They didn't
they're
look bad week 1.
Arizona State.
Yeah, I don't remember who they played, but I just remember
Bro,
vividly.
they played some no name too.
No, I
played
don't.
on
I don't think
Thursday.
it did. I like Arizona State in this game, but I don't know what you.
I'll take
think.
Arizona State too.
Alright.
God, don't
You know I was
don't
right
follow
on
us this
Now,
week, guys.
this is when you
Yeah.
let your unit
Yeah.
sleep for the
Yeah,
night.
but
We'll be better.
you'll
Our
bitch your
NFL
mind
picks, maybe.
Our
Yeah.
time. Yeah, the tiebreaker first.
Oh, sorry.
Tennessee versus Florida. How many points will be scored? I think
26.
Tennessee wins 31-14. So whatever that is. But
I think Florida scores more than 14 points. Give me 31-21.
31-21.
Yeah.
So that is what,
52?
42-28.
So we're gonna be in the middle. So like we're gonna be in the middle at like 55.
Yeah. And now we're moving on to NFL. Before we get into the picks, we have to talk Aaron Rodgers. I know you guys hate the Packers, hate Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, you hate to see this. He was saying all the right things. Really took a pay cut, got everyone there, and fourth play threw one pass, even had a completion, out for the year.
Yeah, it's devastating, right? I mean, I don't wish injury ever upon anybody. At my darkest times being a Bears fan, sure, I've said that I wish he got hurt, like when he was a Packer, but like, what you staring off to? But I feel bad for him, right? Because I think he got paid $100 million, right? And so he got paid $25 million for play. I think that's you like breaking down the math on contracts.
That's
and everything.
that's a good one. There.
So I feel for them. I feel for the Jets, but I mean they took care of business and got the win. Their defense is still legit.
Josh Allen.
For me, like it just sucks that like it happened. This is horrible. That it happened as soon as he gets on the Jets.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm
terrible.
I'm terrible, but
That is terrible.
no, it sucks. I feel bad for him. Packers lose a first round pick, which is exciting.
Yeah.
But again, like, it's not like you've never had injury. He broke his collarbone with Green Bay, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but this one's so different.
Yeah, no, I'm just
It's
saying that. But he's missed time before.
But this injury will change the NFL.
I mean
Yeah.
this
because
Hopefully they get rid of the turf.
because of the turf.
and I mean, will he play again? And if he does, will he be the same?
I mean, he was already turning 40 this year.
Right.
So you
I think he'll come back.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the games. Bears Bucks. My team plays their team, and guys, I'll say it again. Like the Bucks are not good. The Bucks are not a good football team, right? Their defense is really good. They'll get after Justin Fields, but they just have they can't run the football. And you need to be able to run the football to run Dave Canales' offense because it's such heavy play action, such a lot of woggles and wiggles and all that stuff, all that football terminology. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Here's my thing. I think you're saying this to cover yourself because your defense is good enough to compete,
It is.
right?
It is.
Think about and then you think about your offense. Mike Evans,
Yeah.
Godwin,
You can play too.
Baker, number one pick at one point, came in for the Rams last year and showed that he can still be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
There's no reason that this Bucks team can't win some games.
they did win a game last week.
But if your issue is you can't run the ball,
They can't run.
that's the only thing the Bears can do. They can stop a run. Guess what? Kyler Gordon, he's out. You're gonna have a field day. If Baker can just have a good game, I worry for our secondary because guarding Mike Evans, guarding Godwin is an issue. So I'm excited to see the offensive side of the Bears because I think we're gonna do some things different this week. Chase Claypool might not play just with his lack of effort.
I hope he does.
Which is awesome. I love seeing the Bears do that. But I think this Bucks team's a lot better than, first of all, you're giving credit to. And I think you're saying that because you don't want us to beat you. And then you're like, oh man, I expected it.
You guys can say whatever you want.
I don't think this is your
I'm
team.
picking the Bucks. The Bucks are going to win,
you know.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys really underestimate. I don't think you guys do it. The 1 p.m. kickoff in Tampa in September is going to be hot as hell.
Not worried
right?
about it.
You should be worried about it.
Good thing the Bears are wearing orange.
Yeah, but the Bucks wear their white jerseys for a reason in September.
Real quick before I make my game pick, I have a message to the Chicago Bears.
Doing this again.
Again, we went on a
To the Chicago Bears players and coaches, just shut up. Shut up. What are you saying in the media? We have first of all, we have Jaquan Brisker and DJ Moore complaining how they get booed off the field. First of all, worry about the game before you worry about the fans. Because me as a fan, I'm tired of seeing you guys get booed off the field. Like, how about we fix that first? And then we got Justin Fields. Just shut up, Justin. Just shut up. And Matt Eberflus, shut up. Figure out how to win a football game. Figure out how to win 3 football games, for that matter, before you want to talk. Because they won 3 games off last year. Just shut up and go win a football game. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't know if you saw some of their interviews this week. It was ridiculous. I'm tired of hearing the excuses. I'm tired of people complaining. Just figure out how to win football games. That's all that matters. You know, why are we worrying about this outside stuff? My game prediction: Devin White has 4 picks. Bucks have 9 sacks. Bears lose 45-3.
Wow. Wow. I'm a big Bucks fan. Yeah,
What just
that's a
happened?
little-
Devin White has 4 picks?
Yep.
Why Devin White? Why not Carlton Davis? Why can't he get one?
Because
The 9 sacks, sure, I believe that one, but
the Bears' offensive line is so bad, and the Bucks' D-line, hand up, tip ball, Devin White pick.
Who
And it
you
happened
got?
3 more times.
Who you got, James?
I don't even know how to respond.
That was awesome.
I was scared when he started yelling. I'm like crying. I'm tearing up. Like,
I'm not picking the Bears to win a game this year.
see, this is what makes me so upset.
Yeah. You're a fair weather fan.
You're a fair weather fan.
I'm not. They're so bad. They
do suck.
make excuses. They talk all this talk the whole offseason. They talk this talk the whole offseason. Just win a football game first.
I'm not disagreeing. I think what we watched last week was probably worse than any game we watched last year.
Yeah,
right.
'Cause at least last year we were in games.
So I have to trust and believe that what they're going to do this week is going to be different than what we saw on Sunday. I have to believe it. Let Justin Fields cook.
Please do.
Let him go out there and play the football that he played at Ohio State. Step back in the pocket, throw the ball down the field. Justin needs to stop holding the ball on he holds the ball for way too long, right? Way too long. You know you're not going to get enough pressure, or you know you're not going to get enough time,
Yeah.
right? Get rid of the ball. I want to see more design runs. Lamar Jackson, one of the best quarterbacks on the run. They have design runs for him. Last week, he had 1. Justin Fields had 1 design run, and it was a 4th and inches, right?
Yeah.
So that's got to be more utilized. Chase Claypool needs to be on the bench. Don't even dress. I hated the fact that just the lack of effort pissed me off, right?
So you know who's gonna block out there? Equinemius St. Brown.
Yeah,
You
Don't worry,
traded,
I'm
traded
not
the 32nd. I did it wrong last week. I said 36. The 32nd overall pick for Chase Claypool. I said it again. That he was the god. Okay.
Just let Justin Fields cook, and the Bears can win this game.
I think the Bears will make improvements on offense, but Tampa's defense is really good, maybe even better than the Packers' defense, at least up front. On the D-line, their front seven is really good. Yeah, we'll see. I think, but it's not going to be 45. I think. I think it'll be a 1 possession game.
No chance.
I can't even watch this game, so I hope it's not going to be 45-3. I'll be at a golf tournament, so hopefully
Shout out golf.
I don't tune in.
But we'll go into some different games. I think one of the bigger ones, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, terrible showing last week. They need a get back right here. It's at Cincinnati, right? It's not at Baltimore.
It is in Cincinnati.
Okay. So yeah, they need this game. Joe Burrow needs to really step up. I know he missed training camp, but yeah, they need to step up. This is a big game for Cincinnati. Starting 0-2 and both losses against divisional opponents is a big deal.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. There's a kind of a trend out there that if a team that failed to cover the spread the week before plays a team that did cover the spread, I think it's 70% of the time the team that failed to cover the week before covers the spread the next week, and they're favored by 3.5. So if that trend follows, technically it says the Bengals will win. I do like the Bengals to bounce back. I think Joe Burrow gets another week of practice under his belt. That Browns defense is good too. Let's not be mistaken. That Browns defense has some dudes on. They have some dogs.
Yeah.
And I don't think Baltimore's defense is quite as good. It is at Cincinnati. I don't know. This is a tough one for me, but I like the Bengals. It is at the Bengals, so give me the Bengals.
I do too. I think you don't watch a guy like Joe Burrow who signs the biggest contract in the NFL. You don't watch him do what he did again.
And he was still better than Daniel Jones, though.
He was. He was.
83 yards.
You just don't see it happen. And this, Jamar Chase is pissed, right?
Yeah.
That won't happen again because you cannot piss off a guy like that, right? The top 5 receiver in the league. And they can run the ball. They can obviously score the poop out of the ball. So, I'm really excited to watch this game because I think we're going to see a bounce back from both teams, but I think Cincinnati gets it done.
Yeah, another big one, Kansas City at Jacksonville.
It's a huge
rematch of the divisional game. Yeah, I mean, Kansas City, the status on Kelsey is up in the air. His brother said he'd play, but no word from the Chiefs. I'm less worried about Kansas City starting 0-2 than some of these other teams. I just don't know what to make of Jacksonville. They looked weird last week, right? They showed flashes, and showed flashes being really bad. The game being in Jacksonville, freaking Duval County, baby.
I don't know nothing about Duval County.
It's hot and miserable and muggy.
Perfect.
But yeah, Kansas City is going to win though.
Yeah.
I think this is a game I'm super excited because this is, in my opinion, the best two quarterbacks in the NFL going at it. Say what you want, I think Trevor Lawrence has solidified himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I think he's better than
second.
Josh Allen.
Oh, 100%. Josh Allen might have CTE the way he played on Monday. So
Yeah.
you good? You want some water?
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I need to see a list. Justin Herbert's better than Trevor Lawrence. That's at least 3.
No.
That's off the top of the dome.
Then how come
Give me
Justin
all
Herbert
of it.
didn't
That's an
have
opinion.
playoff game?
That's an opinion.
That is an opinion.
I can have an opinion.
And my opinion differs from yours because your opinion is wrong.
You started coughing and weird stuff like
Yeah,
you
because
need
that was a
water.
preposterous
That's fine.
take.
I think
Second best.
wow.
Dude's been
Everyone
there
might
for 2
hate
years.
to pick, but I guess leave a comment. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence is the second best player in the second best quarterback in the NFL, and I don't think.
I don't hate that take.
Thank you.
I do.
I don't hate that take.
It's fine.
I like
I know,
Anyway,
I know,
back to this
I know you
game.
guys watch Justin Fields all the time, so seeing a
You're
quarterback
right.
that
I
can
watch
throw it,
Trevor
and you
Lawrence.
guys, you know, so anytime you see someone that can really spin it for a second, but no, God, I forgot his name.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is really good, but
He's a dog.
anyway, who you guys got?
I think the Chiefs win this game if Travis Kelce plays. If Kelce doesn't play, Jacksonville will win this game.
I like the Jags. This is a team that you look at what they did the second half last year. They just found ways to win games against good teams. That playoff game, that comeback was ridiculous. Everybody knows about that. But they also played the Chiefs pretty tight in the playoffs last year, and that Chiefs team
because
that
Mahomes
Chiefs
went
team
down.
was way better then. And this Jags, and now that Chiefs team is worse, and the Jags team's a little bit better now. I like Calvin Ridley a lot. I like the Jags. I actually went past their stadium this summer. It's pretty neat. Did you? I ate at a Whataburger 2 minutes away.
Wow,
That's awesome.
Can't say I've ever been to one.
Any other games stick out to you guys?
Yes, actually. I have an upset pick
Go do it.
in the late window Sunday. I have the LA Rams beating the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know. I feel like this is a revenge year for Matt Stafford. I think it's a revenge year for Sean McVay. I like how they went in and beat the Seahawks last week. I don't know. There's something about it. It's at SoFi. Give me the Rams.
The upset will be Colts Texans. Okay,
That's not an upset.
How?
They both suck
Texans are favored though.
by a point.
Point and a half. Richardson is showed to be the best quarterback in the draft after week 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, you did, but the way you guys are overreacting to week 1, Tanner, the Rams are improved from last year, but
I hate his pick.
Seattle sucks.
Oh,
Like,
we'll
they're
come
fine.
back. We'll come back on Monday
They're
night.
okay.
And we'll say
They're
Tampa
going.
Bay.
The 49ers are the best team in the NFL. They're not freaking Geno
That
Smith.
doesn't mean they're going to win every week.
Yeah, but it sure does mean they'll win this week. The Rams do not have enough defensively besides Aaron Donald.
I don't disagree, but what do you hate about my Colts Texans?
I do. It's just not an upset. It's the two.
Well, technically
the
it is.
Texans picked second in the draft last year. The Colts picked 4th.
But I'm saying
You know, it was a battle of mid-off with the Vegas and Broncos. This is a battle of terrible off. I'd say other words that weren't family friendly.
It's
But
terrible off.
Terrible off. But none of these teams are gonna be good. They're both gonna win 8 games combined. Anyway, I look. Yeah, but anyway, that's my opinion.
It's still an upset. If you're favored by 1.5 and you lose, therefore you
Yeah.
lose. You're the dog.
Yeah. Anything else, Tanner, from you?
I think I'm good on the NFL. I mean, I think we hit.
Real quick, Giants go to the Cardinals. Giants need to get a bounce back.
Yeah, they do.
They got to win. Got to be convincing after their embarrassing showing. But yeah, that's it for us for the NFL. Before we get into baseball, we wanted to talk about basketball again. We're a little late on this, but Noah Lyles, who's a track athlete for the United States and in Olympics, World Championships, all that good stuff, made a kind of controversial comment regarding whether or not NBA players can announce themselves as a world champion after winning the title. And it didn't help their point that a team full of NBA players lost in the FIBA World Cup to Germany. But I mean, what are your guys' opinion on this? I'm just going to say right now the NBA is the most talented league, has the most talented players. It's not every day where you see 7-footers going out there and putting on a show, right? And just the athletic ability, all that stuff. But in the aspect of, is there a team in the Spanish league that's better than the Denver Nuggets? No, right?
Talent-wise.
I mean, in every aspect wise.
No. The people in Spain know how to play basketball better.
Oh, here we go.
What?
Yeah.
I'll hold on. Steve Kerr said it perfectly in the interview. He's literally like, this is a quote. This isn't 1992 anymore.
Yeah.
People know how to play basketball. right? And the NBA has transitioned the world into loving the game of basketball because you have superstars like Nikola and Luka and all these guys coming over.
The past 5 MVPs, Giannis twice, Jokic twice, and Embiid.
Yeah.
One thing they all have in common, none of them were born in America.
Correct.
Right? So the game is definitely evolving.
100%.
Right.
But I think you look back on why didn't LeBron, KD, Curry play in the FIBA this year? This goes back to right before COVID. Okay, so 2019 FIBA, right? That team didn't have all the stars because the Olympics were supposed to be held in 2020. COVID happened, pushed back the Olympics. That's what's happening this year. So I understand his comment, about why NBA champs, world champs. I understand there's a fine line, but FIBA was this year. The Olympics is supposed to be next year. I think guys like Curry and KD were already going to be planning on playing in the Olympics. I was watching a podcast with JJ Redick, and he said it perfectly. He's like, it's not. Why should these players be almost forced into playing 82 games in the regular season, preseason games, playoff runs, and you have to play now before the season starts? So I think they're taking a year off. Who cares? They're going to get ready for the Olympics next year. But you look at this team that the U.S. might roll out next year.
Yeah.
Curry, Tatum, LeBron, KD, AD. That's your starting 5. You know what? You know what players miss this roster? Paul George, Ingram, Kyrie. Like, Kyrie's not going to be on the USA team most likely.
Who do you have?
Jimmy Butler, Kawhi, Booker, Lillard, Bam, Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown.
Half those guys will sit out for load management.
I don't know.
They might. And again, that's best case scenario, right? So if all of those players, which in my opinion, I think those are the best American players that we have, Kyrie misses the 12-man roster, right? So that again, that's just my opinion. That's if everything goes accordingly. But I don't think it's fair to shame these players for not playing in the FIBA World Champ.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was what he was necessarily trying to do. Here's more of a problem is all the announcers be like, the Denver Nuggets are world champions, right? And I don't have a problem with you saying that. The NBA is the most talented league, the best basketball league in the world. If you win that, you are a world champion. But the United States did not win a world championship in FIBA, so I see both sides. Tanner, what you said about the Spaniards playing the right way.
Well, here's the thing.
Preposterous.
So, I'm not doubting that the NBA is the most talented league. It by far is. What I'm saying is the brand of basketball that is played in the NBA, when you play against people who play the game the right way and know how to play the game of basketball, they don't stand a chance. I watched USA play Lithuania, and Lithuania's out there playing defense, shell defense, help defense, closing out. USA wasn't playing defense. Guess what Lithuania was doing on offense? They were running ball screens, running actions, double screens, flare screens. Guess what USA would come down? Tween, side step 3. Like, I'm sorry, you can have more talent, but that doesn't mean that you're just the best. Because I think it comes down to who plays the game right.
Well, and JJ Redick said it in the podcast too. He said you take the Denver Nuggets, and you play a team. You play that Germany team.
Yeah.
Right. And you play them in a best of 7 series. Germany's not getting swept, even with this roster.
Yeah.
That's what JJ Redick said. And
with this USA roster, yeah.
He's saying they're not. Again, I've never played in the NBA, so I don't know.
You want to
what
know
it's
why?
like.
Because LeBron is not going to play defense. You got KD who's not going to play defense. AD is going to get hurt. Kawhi will get hurt. Lillard's not going to play defense.
Anyway, one big thing that I think FIBA was an interesting thing for this American team is because you had a lot of these NBA players, right? And the NBA, there's a 3-second defensive rule. They can't be in the lane. A defender cannot be in the lane for 3 seconds. That's not a rule in FIBA. So you watch all these teams. The USA team wasn't in the lane because they're used to these NBA rules. You look at all the teams.
They can't.
It's a different game. It's a different game. So I think
you're allowed to knock a ball off the rim.
Sure.
It's a different game. That's not an excuse.
It's a different game.
The United States should win every basketball tournament. They should. They have more talent than everyone. If they bought in to do their roles, like Kyle Kuzma said it. It's like some people need to realize you guys sit in the corner for 5 straight possessions, and Devin Booker retreated and be like, "I'll do it." You know
but that's if. Here's the thing. The USA is so big, right, and so talented that we're able to put a team out there with our B squad, right?
Yeah.
The teams we're playing against, Germany, those are the best basketball players from Germany.
Yeah, that's very true.
Right?
But
If we put the best players from the United States...
Dennis Schroeder won the FIBA World Cup, right? MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He was not on a team 2 years ago. He had to get picked up. Dennis Schroeder is a great rotational point guard. He is. He can get some playoff minutes. He's the 8th man on a playoff team. Sure. He would not make an American team if he was American.
Yeah.
So if those players, both the Wagner brothers, I'm struggling. The Wagner brothers would not play on the United States national team. They wouldn't, not even on this team.
Well, you have to understand.
Proves my point of the USA team and the NBA game just can't compete against the European game because they play the game.
I don't know about can't compete because they win all the time. They won the 2020 Olympics.
You also have to understand,
so
though,
not competing is the right word.
We're not trying. I'm not trying to compare LeBron to
I know you're not.
Right? No. But I'm trying to make a point that the fine line between, we can just look at college. The fine line between a corner that plays at Purdue and a corner that plays at Florida, it's very minuscule. Right? Very minuscule. That's the same way with professional basketball. There's dudes over in Europe that are absolutely hooping that could maybe play some good basketball in the NBA. The level is, I'm not saying they're better. The American players are better, but there's a fine line between a 7-footer doing the same thing. One just might be doing it for the Lakers. One might be doing it for.
See, I disagree with that because Dennis Schroeder is not an all-star. When you look at the United States team, you had 8 dudes on there that were all-stars. It's just like...
But it's all about roles.
It is, you're right. And that's
you watch the Nets when they had Kyrie,
and that's what
KD, and James Harden. Were they good? No.
Well,
because they didn't gel together.
They should have won the title.
But gelling is all that matters, right? When you take Germans, right, from Germany, and they're playing all together, they might gel better. This top 5 that I mentioned, Curry, Tatum, LeBron, KD, AD, they would gel well together because they all 5 do different things. The starting 5 that we sent out there didn't gel together, and they weren't playing proper basketball.
Mikal Bridges does different things than Anthony Edwards, right? There's a reason why Brandon Ingram didn't play. Brandon Ingram is a top 20 player, talent-wise, in the NBA. He got 4 minutes a game because he didn't buy into his role. I understand what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you. But you saying that these international players would come over to the NBA and be so you're saying a 7-footer. Who's a 7-footer? So Joel Embiid is 7'1". Is there a person in Europe doing what Joel Embiid is doing? No. No one in Europe is better than Joel Embiid. There's a reason why he's MVP in the United States.
I'm saying the skill level is not as far as you're making it sound. You're making it sound that nobody in the world can do what Joel Embiid is doing, and I'm not saying you're wrong because he is the MVP, okay? But there is somebody who's very close talent-wise.
They'd be in the NBA.
No,
like we're saying this. Look, there was an MVP. I forget of what league. He just signed with the Kings. There's a 3-year deal, right? And he's going to come off the bench, the MVP of a European league.
But
so I'm saying what you guys are saying, the skill level. But there's still a massive gap between Joel Embiid and one of the top players in Europe.
Yep.
The United States losing is. It should never happen.
Yeah, but
I know the gap is closing, but it should never happen.
To your point, so
with our best roster, maybe.
I have a good argument here.
Right.
So you mentioned how in FIBA, the 3-second rule, that's a different thing. Yes. It's the same as that European player can come over to the NBA. It's a different thing.
But that's one thing. That one thing does not determine a tournament. Like, the United States should not lose because you're now allowed to stand. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the Defensive Player of the Year. He should camp in the paint if that's the case. So what if you're not used to it? Get used to it. That's not an excuse. I'm not arguing with that.
The USA team lost this year. 1, it wasn't our best squad. Correct? Right? And 2, because first of all, when Bobby Portis is on your team, you're in shambles. I mean, you're in shambles. So, and like I said earlier, Steve Kerr said it's not 1992 anymore. People in Spain know how to play basketball.
They do.
Okay, and that's why you're seeing more people from European countries come over and make a name for themselves. You look at the 90s and all those Lakers teams and all those, just like in Celtics and all those superstar teams, they're American, right? Now you got Luka, Embiid, like the Joker. Like that's what's going to happen because they are playing basketball over there at a very high level, and it's being very underrated. So again, we're talking about the greatest NBA player in Embiid, right? We're talking about a guy in Spain. We can. No, they're not close. But you take an average center, name me an average center in the
Dwight Powell.
Okay, his skill level and a center that's playing high level Spain
I'm not
is
arguing
very,
that.
very close.
I'm not arguing that.
And that's what
but there's a reason why
I'm-
Dwight Powell's not on the roster, and that average Spain player is on the Spanish roster. Or Spain is notoriously very good on the Lithuanian roster, right? I mean, they're still different. But we're getting away from the point. Like, the United States, the NBA saying that, oh, we're the world champions or whatever. Like, look, if you are okay with it, like, I don't really care. Like, the NBA is the best league in the world. I said it. Like, there's no group of players better than an NBA team or whatever, right? But what Noah Lyles said is true to an extent, because you're not playing against the rest of the world. You're playing against other American teams. So right now, Germany's technically the world champions. But anyway,
But here's the thing: the
either way you
NBA
look
isn't.
at it.
It's based in America, and it's an American brand, but it's not just Americans going against each other. So saying the world champs is okay because of the fact that you're going against guys from other countries and all around the world. You look at that Canada roster. That Canada roster was nasty. But once again, you had the best Canadians playing on that team. Again, you take the best Americans, you roll with that starting five. You have Kawhi Leonard coming off as the 8-man on your bench. Next year in the Olympics, they're going to really go for a revenge. And maybe it's a redeemed team part 2. I mean, who knows? You never know.
Long overdue, getting into some MLB here. There's some huge series in MLB starting today, or yesterday as you're watching this. The biggest series so far in baseball is happening this weekend with the Rays and Orioles. It is for the American League #1 seed, right? Both teams have 90 wins. There's 3 teams that have 90 wins. 2 of them are in the LA East, and they're playing each other this weekend. 4-game series. If the Rays take 3 or 4, they win. They're leading the division, right? I mean, huge series. I mean, we'll see. We've talked about the pitching depth of the Orioles. They only have one starting pitcher that has below a 4 ERA. So we'll see. It's the biggest series of the year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the AL East has been interesting all year, but I mean, this is just a great way to get into the final stretch of the season. In my opinion, this is a really good series. Good baseballs can be played. You got the Orioles who just rake, and then you got the Rays who kind of do it by pitching fundamentals and just playing the game the right way. I like the Rays. I was on the Rays before the season. I had the Rays winning 97 games. Looks like they're going to come pretty close. Yeah. I like the Rays to win the series. I hope, for your sake, Johnny, I'm on your side here. I hope the Rays can get it done. I'm going to be a 1 seed. I want to see the Rays. I want to see the Rays do good.
Troptober, baby.
I've known this man for 2 years now.
Cancel it. I mean, I hope they win a wild
card.
I might go to the Orioles after that.
Yeah, Troptober, baby. But what Kevin Cash has done with this team, he should be manager of the year. You lose an entire starting rotation, right? We've talked about their starting rotation that's on the injured list would be a top whatever rotation in baseball. I mean, and then you lose Wander Franco, who knows what's going on there, don't really want to get into it. Jose Siri is out now, 25 home runs, one of the best defensive center fielders. Manuel Margot is more of a utility guy, but he's been really good in the past. He's been doing all these injuries. Yandy Diaz is one of the most, I've said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. Yandy Diaz is one of the most underrated players in baseball. He's hitting .324 with over a 400 OPS. I mean, it's just unreal the consistency that he hits with. But yeah, we'll see. Huge series. We need this one, man. The Rays need this one.
Johnny, I've known you for 2 years, and I've seen the heartbreak of the Rays. Yeah, I really don't want to see that again. Here's something that I find kind of interesting. The Rays, as of now, even if they don't take over this division, would be playing the Rangers.
Yeah, and the Scherzer's out.
Best case scenario.
And I want to play anyone but the Blue Jays in the wild card. So however that shakes out, I don't want to play someone in the division in the wild card if the Rays split this series and are whatever back. But yeah, we can quickly talk about the Braves. The Braves are the Chiefs of the MLB. 7 straight NL East champions. Like, it's really impressive what they're doing,
They're the
man.
best player in baseball.
Better than Shohei Ohtani?
I mean, right now.
Still.
How is Ronald Acuna not right now the best player in MLB?
I think Mookie Betts is really good too.
Ronald Acuna is the best player.
Mookie Betts is is second best, but what Ronald Acuna Jr. has done this year.
He's gonna have a 40-70 year, or he already
has it.
Yeah, it's insane.
Will you actually think Mookie is better?
Okay. He's good, but when everyone's at their best, no one's better than Shohei.
Yeah, when he's healthy. But again, are we going to see that same Shohei ever again?
We'll see. Yeah, Tommy John wants it. We don't know if he needs one, but We touched on Scherzer being out for the year. Cubs, Diamondbacks is a big series too.
Man.
Cubs, the Cubs pitching rotation is good, but can it win in October in a big series? Like you said that the Cubs can get to the NLCS. When you struggle against the Rockies, a team that when you have that series, you gotta win that series at the very least.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. It's a big series for them. D-backs just took 3 or 4 of them the other last weekend. But what do you guys think? You guys know more than I do.
My thing with that Rockies series is it's never, no matter how bad the Rockies are, it's never easy to win there because of Coors Field and the elevation. And then you add in the fact that the Rockies had their best player come off the IL, Chris Bryant, and who actually played really well. It's like that was a little bit different Rockies team than that had played the last 2 months. But still, I'm nervous. That was not a good series to lose. What I love about this Arizona series is we miss Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen, and we have our best 3 going. And it is a must-win series. I mean, at this point, it does look like we're probably going to be playing in Philly in the wild card. I've started to accept that, which I'm okay with, because I do think that we can beat them. I'm not saying we will. And then what I do like is if we do get past Philly, I would much rather play the Braves in a 5-gamer than a 7-gamer. So I'm starting to accept that path and kind of look at the positives of it. Cubs have some key injuries right now. Candelario's on the IL and our closer's on the IL. They should be back like a week left with a week left in the regular season.
Start of that Braves series.
So we are not fully healthy right now. I think Stroman's going to come back into the bullpen pretty soon, but it'll be interesting. James, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. You can't. They lost me this weekend, or not this weekend because it's Thursday, but this series against the Rockies was just huge. And if you're losing games, especially at Coors Field, like 7-5 or like 12-10, because that's what Coors Field just does, right? We just never looked like we were ever going to be in control of those games, right? And that's what scares me, because Justin Steele should win the Cy Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
He should win the Cy Young. This is a big. I think he pitches tomorrow. It's a big outing for him. Okay. We need to win this series. We need to create space from Arizona, because again, we haven't solidified a playoff spot. That's our first. I don't care about. You're talking about playing Philly. First of all, let's make the playoffs.
Wait, what do you guys have? 2 games?
2.
On Arizona, we have two and a half games for the playoffs.
But here's the thing.
I mean, Arizona takes 2 or 3 this weekend.
I totally agree, and that's what I mean.
It's a big deal.
But I want to win the NL Central.
Yeah.
Okay? We're 4 games back, which is a blessing. It's a blessing. You lose 2 games in Colorado, and you're still only 4 back. I mean, it's fine. And you play them 3 more times. And you know what? The Brewers play St. Louis 7 times.
St. Louis just took 2 or 3 of Baltimore.
Exactly. St. Louis is a team loaded with talent who never played up to their potential. Are we going to be surprised if they take 4 or 5 from
No. St. Louis is 7-3 in their last 10.
So the Cubs take care of business. You got your key matchups pitching wise. You don't face their best 2. You take care of business in Arizona. There's no reason by the podcast next week we can't be talking about the Cubs being a game or 2 back.
Yeah.
I mean, take care of business, because I think St. Louis, they're a team that can beat the Brewers. I mean, you're talking about divisional games, and does it mean anything for St. Louis? No. But, I mean, obviously games are games, and I'm super excited to watch both of these series, because I think they're going to be huge.
Yeah, the D-backs are actually losing to the Mets again right now. They have struggled ever since that Cubs series. And I don't know, it's just life on the road, I guess, at this point in the season. It's never easy.
But the AL wild card is really interesting.
Yeah.
The Rangers went from being 2 back. They won 5 in a row. They swept the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken, who were right there with them. It's the Rangers, Mariners, Blue Jays, all right there. They lost Scherzer, but Scherzer wasn't that good for them. He had over a 3 ERA. It wasn't the vintage Scherzer that we're used to. The Rangers' offense can go head-to-head with anyone. Corey Seager is a dog. He can freaking play, man. And Mariners, Julio Rodriguez has been otherworldly the past few months. And the Blue Jays have all the talent in the world, man. I don't know what to make of the Blue Jays. They're so inconsistent, but I think if they get in, they can make some noise. Definitely some stuff to look out for in the wild card races. Anything else for you guys?
The wild card teams, would we be surprised if we don't see 2 wild card teams in the World Series?
No. I wouldn't.
Besides, obviously, the Braves are the best team in baseball, right? And the Dodgers are really good. But, this Phillies roster, is really good.
Yeah,
Right?
I think you see 1. I think 2 is a lot.
It could be a stretch.
If it was the Mariners versus the Phillies in the World Series, I wouldn't be like, oh wow.
Right.
I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be like, oh wow.
Yeah, right.
No, it's not the
Because
craziest
you
thing in
can
the
see the
world.
Phillies beating the Braves in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
That's not that crazy to me.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. A lot of good stuff.
It makes you
coming up.
kind of appreciate what the MLB has done
Yeah.
with these wild card series. Because at first I wasn't a fan, right? Because I just looked back at the 2015, 2016
Yeah.
Cubs. Like, that was cool. Like, the wild card game was cool.
Yeah.
And that one year when we played 163 games,
Yeah,
right?
Braves done that a few times
And
too.
we
Yeah.
lost, but
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, if you anything else you guys want to hit on, I think we're good.
Go Cubs.
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We're over 50 subscribers, so thank you guys for that. If you made it this far,
100 next.
yeah, 100. Hopefully we get to 100 before around Halloween. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Thank you.